are starting our show this morning with some tea. Sweet tea, specifically.
That's right, and not just the drinks on our coffee table, thanks, Lamb. We're also talking about the newest cast member on Bravo's Married to Medicine.
This is a cute little
charcuterie board.
I used to call it coochie board, but now
A coochie board. This is not a coochie board. Two star, no, don't mess up this peaceful spot.
what I said.
I mean, this is as close to God as you guys may ever get. Okay, so stop it.
Okay. I mean, I'm a millennial, and these ladies are way out of touch. They are near my grandmama age. This is a new experience. That's why you need a whole diverse group of friends to introduce you to new things and try new things. That's so true. We're black women, we got vaginas, and other than that, I don't think that we have anything in common. Like, I respect them as if, like, they're, you know, gentle old ladies.
Not the gentle old lady. She said what she said. Lateasha Lunceford, a.k.a. Sweet Tea, is the newest and youngest member of Married to Medicine cast. She married Dr. Gregory Lunceford in April 2023. He's been on the show for most of its run.
Look at that gorgeous photo. Yeah, and Miss Sweet Tea joining us live this morning. So hello and welcome.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Great. Better for seeing you. We imported some sweet tea.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
We thought it was appropriate.
Yes, absolutely.
Where did the name come from, though?
Yeah.
Actually, it was my Instagram name, and my husband was calling me Sweet Tea, and it just kind of stuck. It just kind of stuck, and the lady's like, you know, while you're on the show, you can build a brand for yourself. And I was like, you're right, Sweet Tea, and I'm actually trying to come up with my own medicinal tea line.
Ah.
Wow.
Yes.
Do you like sweet tea?
I love sweet tea.
Any particular flavor?
Passion fruit.
I like a passion
I like how
fruit.
she says it.
Passion fruit. So before we get into all the tea, what was life like for you before you became a part of this show?
Well, let's just say I was living my best life. I lived in D.C. I was working for the intelligence community. And, you know, I was just looking for love. You know, I have a background in being in the Air Force Reserves. I was a pharmacy tech. I've been in the medical field. I've worked in different rooms of the medical field. And I was just looking for love, and I found it through Instagram.
Through Instagram.
Yeah, how did this whole thing happen with you and Dr.
So I slid in his DMs.
Ooh,
and my,
you know what?
I did the same
That's
thing
how
with
she
my
got her
boo.
doctor.
You did?
That's how I found my doctor.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yes, that's like the new thing, you know, especially during the pandemic. We met during the pandemic, and that was just like the closest I can get to him, you know, just say hello. A lot of people were communicating through social media. So I slid in his DMs and said, hey, I can give you what you want.
Get out.
Yeah.
You were that blunt.
I was.
I love that.
I was.
Yeah,
and he was like,
right.
you don't even live here in Atlanta. I was like, I'm only a flight away. Got flued out, and
And that was it.
that was it. And my life has changed.
It sure has.
my God.
Where
For
you
better.
you are a woman who knows exactly what she wants. This is what I gather from you. Where does that come from in your life?
You know what? I believe it comes from my family and watching them not getting the things that they want. And I said, that's not going to be me. I'm going to do better. I'm gonna set a goal for myself. I'm going to go after it.
Yeah.
You know, praying can only get you so much. You have to have action behind your prayers.
You know what? I love hope,
Yes.
but it's a bad plan. You gotta have a little bit of action behind hope, right?
Right.
Okay, so you're approached by the producers, yes?
Yes. Prior to getting married, I was approached by the producers back at, I would say back in 2021.
Okay.
And we were just dating, and you know, it didn't make sense for us to be on the show then. And then now we are, we got engaged, and they were like, hey, yeah, we really want you on the show. And then Heavenly, one of my castmates, she actually encouraged me to do the show.
Very nice. Well, let's talk about that, the
Yes.
relationships between you and the other ladies on the show. I mean, we saw on that scene, you are the youngest one. What has it been like on the show and the relationships that you've developed? Is it really that kind of contentious like we see, or is it really warm and fuzzy?
It's definitely not warm and fuzzy. I would say that the ladies still kind of see me as like the young little girl, because, you know, I get that little girl and come on, baby girl, you know, and it's, you know, I get made fun of because my age difference from my husband. But I think that with me being a millennial and them being from a different generation, sometimes like, you know, it's so foreign to them because I was talking about being a part of an age gap relationship support, like a support group. And they thought that was like crazy. Heavily said I was in therapy for seeing older men. I was like, no, that is just like what we do today's age, you know?
Yeah.
So
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Nothing but a number. So can we talk about the Instagram Live? Because it kind of went down.
Yeah. It did.
Set the backstory, because there were some words that were thrown around that were, if you can recover from that, you're a better human than me.
Yes. So the background story is Heavenly. She did various interviews right after the show wrapped up, and she did all these interviews. And she was dogging me out, like just talking about my relationship, my body, my endometriosis. And it was just like, you know, it was out of nowhere right after I posted my Bravo home tour. And, you know, she was like, she reposted the ex-wife home tour. And she was like, she did it better. And it was just like, she just turned on me. She just literally turned on me. And I've been ignoring her, and she's been, every week she gets on her YouTube on Mondays, just dogging me out every Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, so I happen to get on our live. We do our lives every Sunday when the show airs. We get on live and talk about the show. And Phaedra said that Heavenly was going to get on, and we were talking about grandmothers and the infamil being in the background of her, one of the scenes. And I was like, you know, I believe she's an actual grandmother, you know? And she just got on live, and she had her like bonnet on and everything, and it just went crazy. And I found that was my first time seeing her since of all the things that she said about me. And it just went left. It did.
So obviously the relationship is not good. Do you see any type of healing of that relationship in the future? Do you think you can come back to something that's more
At first I was saying no, but I think that Heavenly has some childhood trauma, and that I can see that she needs to work through. And I see a hurt person, and I want her to get the healing that she needs. So I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
That is. It is. I find it's easier to navigate life when you're in a happier place.
Yeah.
Or at
Yes,
least a
it
place
is.
where you don't feel like you're constantly turning behind your back to see who's back there, who's checking out on you.
Right, you're right.
You still happy you're doing the show?
Yes, I am. I have my days that I'm like, ooh, did I mess up? Like, why did I do this? But when I get those DMs and saying, like, you're doing a great job, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Who would you say are some of the people that you're closest with on the show?
I would say Dr. Alicia. Although she's been mute on the show, but you see more of her as the season goes on.
Yeah.
But we're very close. And Toya, she's like a big sister. Simone, she's the voice of reason, you know, and those are my girls.
Yeah.
How do you handle it though when people come after you?
Just take a deep breath.
That's all you can do, right?
You are strong. I mean,
Yeah.
that takes a very strong person to
Yeah,
get all that
it takes
shade.
a lot. But you know what? I lean on my husband. You know, I really lean on him. He's done this before. He knows this group of ladies. So I lean on him for guidance.
Unbelievable. All the things that have transpired, what would you say has been the most enjoyable part of being a part of Married to Medicine?
I would say getting married on the show and just seeing my dreams come true. You know, I set a goal for myself. I went after what I believed in, and I got it.
Can we toast to that?
Yes, with our sweet tea. That's
Let's
right.
toast.
We almost forgot.
Let's
Toast to that.
Toast to happiness.
Congratulations.
And thank you. Thank you for braving the cold. Married to Medicine airs Sundays at 9 on Bravo and the next day on Peacock. Hear, hear.
Delicious.